Lee, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It has been, you're right, it's been like months, but I've been keeping up with your work. And I just wanted to highlight your journey today. So I've got the notes over here, if I'm glancing over here. I know I started asking you about kind of why that you got into business. And you just like went straight for it. You said that you're let go as a business analyst, and a lot of us experience this. We either decide to quit, or a window opens as an opportunity, and we get to leave something that's not working for us. And then you realize, okay, fuck this. I'm gonna run my own business, kind of run my own world. I'm gonna make this happen for myself, which is a testament to you and your character, and your resilience as an entrepreneur. And then, you're talking a little bit about where you were in 2014, your business, and then the changes you were going through towards the end. But you were saying, I'm going to give myself a year to see if I can do this. So I'm just going to get started. And I know when I met you, you were doing a little bit of relationship coaching, and now it's morphed into something brand new. So I would just love to turn it over to you and hear about that a little bit more.
Sure. So thank you for the great introduction. I kind of forgot some of this stuff until you like streamlined everything. So that's great. Yeah. So yeah, when I met you in 2014, I was pretty much kind of like doing this and doing that, and not really sure what I can do. Just like out of curiosity, can I make this work? It was like, can I do it? And when I met you, it was more like I think I had one or two clients when I first met you. So it was like, okay, at least I can do this, but how can I do this better? And I was just, working. I happened just to work with immigrants just because I started off, doing relationship coaching. And then before I was doing ESL, I was doing a ton of different things until I realized like there's a certain type of people that I just resonate more with working for. So I realized, if I do relationship coaching, I can kind of make it work, but it didn't really light me up. So I decided, can I do career coaching? And I went off in this path and basically saw that their end goal was to get a job. So, if that's their pain, I'm going to be there to, fix it, because I've gone through that. I helped one other client go through that for ESL. So that's what made me decide to do the transition.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love that you said that that's a pain that you went through so you can understand that, and I remember when we met and you're talking about the relationship coaching, and just, I have morphed and evolved plenty of times, but something that I realize about businesses that, are authentic and true to themselves is they're teaching something they're constantly working on and going through themselves. That's why I now talk about voice and communication a lot, because I struggle with it all the time. And I'm constantly working on it. But when you're doing relationships, and you have a successful relationship, so it's like, okay, I got this, but I'm not really, I may still be working on it, but it's pretty set. I've got a good life here. So, that's even a sign in and of itself. And the way that you morphed and you started changing, and it's like, okay, well, let me look at a little bit of career coaching. You're constantly, right? Do you feel like you're constantly working on that and seeing what works for you? Because that means it's your sweet spot.
Yeah, because it's more tied into confidence. And I know we were talking about how it's more about transition and how to, present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, because there was a period of time where I was like kind of going everywhere, and that was still like, I think around the summer or something, I want to be a business coach. I want to do all these things.
Yeah.
But then when I sat down, I thought about it, like, why am I discounting things I've done before for other people? Because like helping people get a visa, that's not that anybody can just do that. And so, my vehicle may be career coaching, but the greater message is, getting the confidence that you need and being okay with, where you are, and just switching up a little thing, not having to like go for another MBA, another technical degree, and just being okay, this is who I am. I need a little bit of help maybe in, presenting myself and the confidence, but yeah, I can definitely get my dream. It's not because of the visa or anything. It's just, if they're all smart people, like all my clients, they're like very qualified. It's just that they kind of need that confidence push. So that's something that I am constantly working towards, constantly like trying to do more things. This year, I think I was talking to you about HuffPo, and then I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get it. And then I got it. And then like I got radio shows. So it's still an evolving thing. I'm still trying to get a TV feature, but it's like, it's a confidence and getting to know more people. That's kind of like the common thread within my coaching.
Absolutely. And I was like, damn, when I saw that on Having to Post, I was like, Lee, and I messaged you. I was like, this is amazing. It's just, it's that belief in yourself. And I think this is just a testament to you of how you are the perfect person to be teaching this. Cause I mean, I'm fast forwarding a bit, but you said that you're standing so much more confidently now. And if that's something you're constantly working on, it's you helping these individuals, who you've been at that point feeling like that. It's that you can stand confidently and think that and feel that you are enough without, everything that you are holding on to as well. It's not because you're this amount of, you're this intelligent. It's not just because you have all these credentials and you have all of these degrees. All of that counts and all of that matters. But just you as you are important too. And that's really hard for someone to realize. I used to hold all of my degrees and diplomas like this and be like, without this, I am nothing. And that's such a transformation that you're bringing somebody through too. And do you feel like you've gone through that?
Yeah, because I remember my first client, she was like, I don't know if I should get a master's degree, because she was bachelor's degree in finance. She's like, I don't know if I can get it. And then when she finally got the H-1B, she's like, oh, well, I mean, she might go for it later, but it's not like a forced decision. It's not like, oh, I have to get it because it's the only way I can stay. And it just made them feel more confident, because I think just as women, we want to be 100% perfect. But if you just change it a little bit, you don't have to overhaul your whole life. You don't have to hang on to more degrees. You can just be where you are and get what you want without, having to invest thousands of dollars in more school and 2 more years. You are enough as you are.
Yeah, that's a powerful message. I'm just looking at everything that I asked you over here, because you gave such amazing notes over here. And I know I asked you too about feeling at any point like you were moving, because now you're getting so in tune back to, okay, I started this to, do my own thing and to, run my own world in a way. And now it's morphed into something so much more powerful. But at any point, I know you're talking about this a little, did you feel like you're moving away from that? And you talked about the end of 2014 and just things that were happening in your life and how it's like, wait, is it business coaching or is it career coaching? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So that was a point when I think that was right after we finished the boot camp, and I was just having a lot of financial stress, and I was trying to make this all work. And, I went back to get a real estate part-time position, which is it really helped me get some sort of stability. So I can be okay, this is the amount for rent. So I don't have to worry about doing this and doing that, because I think if you're constantly jumping around, it's because it's instability. Right. And I think we talked a little bit during that time, but I was just so caught up with how am I going to survive? So I went into the survival mode, and I was doing everything. And it did teach me a lot. I did learn how to do an online course on LinkedIn. I did profiles, and your course helped me with that as well. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of I would prefer to teach other people how to do their stories. And I have a new offering where it's just focused on interviews. So it's very interesting to see within 3 hours how somebody can change from, I don't know, what I'm good at. I don't know how to say it beyond I graduated from this school and I had 2 years of internship experience, to somebody she told me after she said what we coached on, mm-hmm. she felt like she was on cloud nine. She was like, wow, I convinced myself into somebody that was she would hire herself too. So that transformation made me realize, I could write other stories for other people, mm-hmm. or I guess I can do both, and I kind of do both. But it's just really interesting to just spend not even that much time, but it's an intensive burst to just show them that, yeah, this is possible, and this is just a very short period of time. But that's what's going to make the difference between somebody who's doubting you because you're doubting you versus, being confident enough to say, yeah, I'm going to hire myself too, and, getting that job.
Totally. That is an awesome, mind-blowing transformation just to hear, especially in that short amount of time. And, it's you helping them see their story in a different way, but it's also you are providing just a safe space for them to feel okay, wait, This does sound pretty good, and it's just that transformation into I can own my own story. And I love that you brought up the piece about, the real estate, because I mean, I was at a point, I know you said end of 2014. I was at like a very big transition end of 2014. I was like giving up on a startup I had tried to start and make work, and then trying to just do my own entity, my own business. And I was looking at all these other jobs too, but I had a different mindset then. I was like, this is different than a full-time job. This would just be to get my mind off the money. And I think a lot of people don't think like that. That's okay to do that, to have that bridge to start, having and supporting the stability so that you can focus all of your energy into building up what you love on the right foundation where there's no stress in it. And I know you said you learned so much about selling there, because everything that we do and every experience that we have is a piece to this like big message puzzle we're putting together. And when you were talking just now, you probably said this already in some format, but it just came to me, you're not only helping them, take ownership of who they are and, their story. And I know I wrote down so many notes on your notes, looking at, defining success in their own terms and becoming confident, but the selling piece too, maybe this, side job helped too, because now you're helping them confidently sell themselves.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way. That great piece. I didn't think about it, but yeah, I think definitely just, because one website that I use a lot now was what I had to use when I was selling real estate, because it just happened to be like a lot of Chinese people in Southern California. They use that site. So I was like, okay, if people can get responses for real estate, why don't I try doing my career coaching? And I actually got my first, 3-hour intensive client through that site. So yeah, just, because before I was like so ashamed to tell people like, oh, I went back for like another job. I felt like shit, but now when I look, because I still have the job, but it's like really flexible, so it worked out in a lot of ways. But I think people are like going through the transition, and sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Like now, I don't feel like it's like a shame. I mean, it helped me a lot, so I'm grateful for it. So I don't know what point I was trying to make, but yeah, just the transition. Yeah.
There's such a powerful point there. And you already talked about her. I was like, yeah, there's this client that you told me about that, helped you realize that it was like, Leah, I need help with this, with the career. And, those types of things, those types of feedback that come to you, just confirm and, just kind of seal into place. Oh, I am really good at this. I am supposed to be doing this. And I cannot tell you how many of the coaches and just the teachers that I started following when I was first starting out a few years ago, who really worked from this place of authenticity and integrity. And now some of them are really successful and making a lot of money, but that wasn't their goal. That wasn't their why. A lot of them, because I used to follow their paths, a lot of them at one point started doing something else. One took up like a yoga certification and started teaching yoga. One started working at a startup. One took a bridge job. One started doing something else. But I didn't look at them any differently. And that's something we don't notice, is that the people following us won't consider that a failure. It's in our head, and it's like, they're doing whatever it takes to make this work, and they're trying all these different things. And you see now how the selling piece you learned with the real estate is actually helping you leverage everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's cool. It's so cool to see and to witness, how far you've come. So now, I asked you, and you have like blazed and forged this whole new path. I want to know, how do you feel about, the journey now and where you are and where you're working towards? And I know, you said that, it's kind of morphed into, well, I might just start a business because, I'm not meant for this, corporate world. But now you're saying that you're helping people, I'm just quoting you here, gain access to what they deserve to get, regardless of their culture or their language, that they can succeed. That you're not the same person. And because of that, these clients aren't as well, that you're standing more confidently and having such natural conversations now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you see the connection between how, where you are now is simply just where they're trying to get. And all you have to do, the natural can't speak, and I'm talking about conversations. The conversations, they simply stem from you looking at everything you've been through. So even the stuff you're doing now, it's all going to connect back, and it's all going to build upon. You're going to look back at some point and say, that's why I went through this, to connect with them and feel what they're feeling at this point. Do you feel like that with the person that you worked with that 3-hour intensive?
Yeah, definitely. And when you said like I guess the more you experience, the more you're gonna be attracting people with the same experiences, which is all about like, you know, what we were talking about, strategic vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I think at one point I didn't really understand people who took bridge jobs, because I just felt like, oh, you should just, if you're really sure about it, you should just quit. And then only until like I was like, oh shit, I have to make rent and do everything, I was like, oh, okay, then I get it. And I started getting more clients who like, they were able to afford my services, but they were just like out of bridge job too. So it was more easy for them to understand. I became like a more compassionate person. But I think until I had that experience, I wouldn't have known how to relate to them. So yeah, I think everything definitely helps, even like the things that you currently think are not so good. But you know, if you were, like you said, like if you wanted to hire like a personal trainer, do you want to hire somebody who is like super overweight and then became skinny, or do you want to have somebody who like has never been through your pain and just always, you know, in shape? And yeah, there's a type of customer for every person. But yeah, if your ideal client is anything like you, their experiences are probably more similar to you than you think.
Oh man, I'm blushing. Thank you for quitting. I forgot about that analogy, but you bringing it up is so true. And the idea of strategic vulnerability is the crux of it. And it's just simply you saying, hey, see you there at point A. Okay, I'm here at point B. Let me teach you the lessons that I've learned along the way. And now you're starting to do that. I don't know. I just like can see you like even creating a new course on just selling yourself confidently. I don't know why this keeps coming up. I hope it speaks to you. But
yeah, definitely. I'm thinking about it, but like until I like flesh it out, I don't want to say it. But yeah, it's a good idea.
That's part of the strategic vulnerability too. So I'm amazed and just grateful to have been a witness, you know, so far to your journey and everything that's happening. And, you know, you said, I don't know if I'm going to get on Huffington Post, and then it happened. So do you feel confident now about the future and everything else you're trying to, you know, work towards? You're standing on solid ground now. So.
I think the biggest difference is before I was like, maybe I can do it. Like, can I do it? I think it's just the questions I was asking myself. Like, can I do it? Can I get on Huffington Post? And then now it's just like, well, if I have a goal and other people have achieved it and there's a way to do it, yeah, I can do it. It's just figuring out the how. So I think the most important part was like just asking different questions, like, you know, with the conversations too. Because when I used to go on discovery calls, I was like, oh my God, is this going to work? I'm not sure, because I never had a client, even though I had like one person proven, and it was kind of like an accident, but it was proven. And then in the beginning I was like, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? And then later on it became like, oh, I've done this before, so let me show you how, like you were saying, like with the A to B. So it's not like, you know, it's not like an uncertain question. It's like, I know this is how it is. I just need to find like the right, you know, type of person who resonate with that experience too.
Awesome. And then at that point, it's not even, you know, anything like a discovery call. It's just a conversation at that point, you know, saying, hey, I'm going to hear about your story and I'm going to share some stuff. And that does so much in just, you know, a period of you saying that. Cause then the person's like, oh my God, Leah's taking the time to get to know me. I don't even know if she's going to ask me anything, but I already really like her. And like, I see her in my story and I hope she asks me to like work with her. So that changes the conversation in there.
Yeah, definitely. The power dynamic is, really different.
Awesome. I am so glad to hear that. Lee, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with me and to share your story and your journey, because it's amazing and powerful.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on this call with me. I really appreciate it. Always great talking to you.